I am great. The sun came up. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Feels like fall. I'm digging it.
We got to October, which means you got through September.
We got to count day. That's
Is that today?
That's the big one on
Okay.
today's list is
nice.
count day. So if your kids aren't in school, bring them down
Bring
today.
'em.
You know, these are just important days
Yeah.
for us to. Every student, adds to that foundation allowance, and those are the funds we use to operate the district.
Right.
So
Every
it's a big day
every
for
dollar matters in this time.
happens twice a year. Oh my gosh! So you're exactly right.
Did you offer free pizza to all kids or anything today to
Well,
incentivize
there's
them?
all kinds of Spirit Day stuff going on. I'll just say that it's across the district.
It is homecoming week.
It is. It is
So
homecoming
yeah, that would
week.
be a good incentive.
Got a big parade coming up this weekend. There's alumni basketball game. I think a three-point shooting contest.
All kinds
There's
of
all
great
kinds
stuff.
of great
Nice.
stuff coming this weekend. It'll be a blast. And of course, our Vikings. We took our first loss last week.
I know, surprise, close game.
Oh my gosh! But we're going to bounce back this week.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good feeling against Adrian coming up, so it's going to be a great night to come out.
Mm-hmm.
The weather should be cooperating,
yeah.
and come enjoy some fall sports and come down to Withington Stadium. It's going to be a great night on Dungy Field.
Speaking of football, I know you want people to vote for Coach Parker, who's being nominated for Best of the Best
Absolutely.
football coach.
And you guys there you
There
go.
he
You got
is.
the QR code out there. Jump in and please vote for Coach Parker. The first round is in October, and he's doing a fabulous
Yes,
job
he is.
and has really done a nice job filling in after Scott Farley had left, really to come in and build that culture. Obviously, you take a look at the facilities, and so he's really committed to changing how JPS approaches athletics, not just in season, but out of season, and not just with the football players. He really gets excited about all of the things that happen up and down the field. A lot of folks don't know this, but with that Al Glick donation a number of years ago, the Jumbotron that's down there has the ability for kids to run up and down the side of the field with cameras, and they TriCast, so you can switch between cameras throughout the game. And so kids who might never have an interest in football, who might never show up on a football field on a Friday night, they're running up and down the field taking game film, and it's showing up on the Jumbotron. Just a really great atmosphere for
We
our
worked
kids.
with the kids in the program
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago during a game. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And they had a great time getting to see all the
What
technology
a
had.
great experience for
Yeah.
these kids.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, you guys are definitely in the forefront of innovation, even with your transportation.
We are jumping into electric buses, and I know lots of people go, oh my gosh, electric vehicles one way or another, but I will tell you, we qualified for a grant that brought in $7.3 million to Jackson and Jackson Public Schools. It purchased 21 buses. Now, I'll give you guys an idea on what this looks like. We typically need to purchase about 3 buses a year to rotate our fleet. We've got a fleet of about 50 buses, and so this is 7 years worth of purchases. If you were to look at it that way, comes with all the infrastructure, creates a great partnership with Consumers Energy. They're down there, and the nice thing is everybody goes, we don't have a grid that can support this. Well, I'll tell you, Consumers has been in there building out the grid, and so we're ready to launch those buses on the road.
Very good.
And what will happen is because of the work that JPS is doing with Consumers, that's going to filter into the rest of our community. That's going to strengthen. That's going to beef up the grid for all of Jackson. So.
Sure.
When we look at what's good for JPS is good for all of Jackson, this is going to be a great thing for everybody. So when you see this, not only is it going to be clean energy and green energy, and we've got solar throughout our district that's helping to contribute to this. I mean, there's a lot going on, but there's 21 new buses to the fleet that'll drop.
Wow.
That will drop our maintenance costs. It'll drop obviously our fuel costs. It'll drop a lot of the things that. The overhead pieces that we run into, that's going to be taken care of through this.
And you charge them on site at your garages.
We do.
That's great.
And we got into the green energy business a number of years ago. We started bringing in propane buses back in 2015, and we'd converted about half of our fleet. We've got about 50 buses plus or minus. Converted about half our fleet to propane, and now we've got 21 electric. And we do still run diesel. I don't want anybody to think that we're anti-diesel out there, but the reality is that when we go on long trips or we go out of town where we can't guarantee we're going to have access to propane filling station or whatnot, we really still rely on those diesel buses for those areas. So we run a mixture of buses, and that transportation helps to keep the buses that you see running around town.
It's a good balance. I can't imagine all the things that must be going on in your head all the time. Just
Well, yeah.
think about
I'm doing the
superintendent.
math on 50 buses right
Well,
now.
yeah, like thinking of superintendent, I'm not thinking about the energy grid and where we're getting it and how you rotate out the 3 different kinds of energy buses that you've got. It's crazy.
All the time. And we run about 40 routes twice, 4 times a day, 2 times in the morning, so 2 tiers, and about 40 routes 2 times in the afternoon. And it's it's a complex calculus getting everybody picked up and home in the right order.
You guys
And so
do it extremely well.
I'm thrilled with our transportation department. It's never perfect because it's not a taxi service, right?
of
That's the
course.
hardest part. Like people go, I want it at my door, or I want it here at this exact time, and it doesn't work like Uber,
It's
right?
not Uber,
So, but if you think about the fact that there are roughly 5,000 kids that hop on and off a bus all the time, I mean, think about that. We do a really, really good job, and so I'm very pleased with our system.
We have so many longtime employees at JPS, and when one of them retires, it's a big deal. And you have a legend that is retired.
Yeah, I've been talking to Mary Jo about this, and I'll say it on TV. I lost a bet because I was thinking I've talked to her for years about retiring. Mary Jo's longtime obvious principal at Hunt, been there. I don't know, 20 some odd years, been with the JPS for 39 years.
Wow.
Just insane, the legend that she is. And so she keeps telling me, I'm going to retire. I said, no, you're not. Yeah. So I bet against it, and she called me out on that bet this year.
She has a lot of fans, tons of former students, the generations, right?
Yep.
You get into 3 generations easily, right?
100%. She's she's seeing, kids and grandkids of her students obviously are in there. And when I was here, Mary Jo was cheerleading coach. She's been around with us for a long time. So just a fabulous, staple to JPS, and we wish her well and on to the next journey. And of course, we've got Sarah Ludwig, fabulous teacher from Hunt. She was the instructional coach last year, and then for about that long, she had transitioned into a district position, a district MTSS coordinator job, and I think Mary Jo panicked and thought, well, if Sarah's going to go do this district thing, and Sarah really has her heart and soul in Hunt, and she's just been a staple with that district or that building as well. So when you look at what that transition is going to look like, Sarah's in there doing great work, and we'll have to make sure we get her down here to share her story.
Yeah, absolutely. She is. She's great. So many great things going on as we get into fall. What are you most looking forward to at the school?
Well, once we get through, I'm just going to say this, once we get through the silly season, which is this fall election cycle, I love, being able to get out to the buildings and focus less on getting the startup of the district going. And truly, people don't realize this, I'm in every building probably every week, if not every other week, so multiple times a month I'm in every building. And it's nice to have, kind of situated all of those people in all those places. So, but being able to get out into the buildings really makes the difference. And so, get everything started, make sure I got a teacher in every classroom, make sure the buses are running down the road, those types of things. A lot of that, startup of the school year stuff, and now we can really focus on the teaching and learning, and so it's feeling good. Parent-teacher conferences are right around the corner. Obviously we're going to get into the stuff of the year. We had our NHS induction the other night, and certainly our sports teams, our fall sports teams are off to a great start. So it's fun. I love what we do in Jackson, and there's so many great things. Each building's got kind of a unique story, and so when you can get out there and you can participate and see the growth of our kids. I like to sit down with our kids. They read to me almost all the time when I'm in the buildings. I like to sit down with our teachers and find out what they're needing. And be able to have a conversation about how the year's going, that kind of stuff. That allows me to keep the temperature on the district and really provide for the needs of our community.
Great things going on over at Jackson Public Schools, an exciting homecoming week, and we want to encourage you one more time.
Vote
if
for Coach
Coach Parker is your favorite coach in town, which I know he's a lot of people's favorite coach, vote for Coach Parker. Jeff, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you guys. This is a great morning. I love being here.
Jeff
Thank you
Beal,
so much.
Superintendent at Jackson Public Schools. Stay with us, more of the show right after this.